Hello, Excessive here. Welcome to this leveling build guide for the Sorcerer. I'm going to start out by saying that I think this build will help you get through the campaign, get through the capstone dungeon, and take you into World Tier 3 without much problem. How good it will do after that, well, we will just have to play and find out. Now, let's get into this build. As you can see, this is going to be a lightning build with some fire passives. But let's get into building. Start out, we're going to take Arc Lash because it just basically is the best starting skill. Then we take Enhanced Arc Lash. Then we take Chain Lightning. Now, some people might argue that charged bolts are better, but I prefer Chain Lightning because charged bolts have such a erratic pattern when you fire them out. So unless you stand basically on top of the mob when you fire them, it's almost guaranteed that not more than one will hit the target you want. So I prefer Chain Lightning because Chain Lightning can be done from up close and from a distance. So I think it's better than Charged Bolt. Then after Chain Lightning, though, we take Enhanced Chain Lightning and Greater Chain Lightning just to boost its damage. Then we take Flicking Arc Lash to increase our movement speed. Since we will be doing Arc Lash quite often, we just have basically a 6% movement speed up all the time. And might even have 18%, which is really good. And then we take Teleport, then Ice Armor, and then Frost Nova. And then we max out Chain Lightning just to increase our damage. And now we're level 14. That was pretty quick. Most of us will probably be at the end of Act 1. So before you get into the next act, go and grab your enchantment. And we're going to pick Fireball. Just for the purpose that Chain Lightning, sure, it's great. It will kill off most white mobs. But as we progress through the game, the groups of mob will be more and more mixed. And there will be more and more healthy mobs with more HP and even some elite mobs mixed in the packs. So with Fireball, when you kill off this easy white mobs and they explode, they will damage the mobs with a bigger health pool or the elite mobs. Might not kill them, but it will most likely damage them quite a lot, and you can finish them up quite easy. So I prefer to have Fireball as the first enchantment. Although I must say, on bosses, you switch to Chain Lightning, since Fireball will only do damage if you kill something, and if there are no mobs on the boss, it's useless. So just when you do trash running around in a wall map, Fireball. When you do bosses, Chain Lightning. Okay. Now we finish off Arc Lash because these two skills are going to be your bread and butter because there are basically the best early game skills to use for most damage. And after this, we increase the damage more with Glass Cannon. And then we take Devastation and 1 point in Elemental Dominance. Because then we get down to take Unstable Current, which basically also just increases our damage and increases our damage some more, or at least our attack speed, but it will increase our damage because we attack faster. And then we finish off Elemental Dominance, and then we take Coursing Current, and then we're at 29, and at 30 we get our next enchantment, and we take Firebolt. Now you might wonder, why Firebolt? Well, when you have Firebolt as an enchantment, direct damage from your skills, basically all our attacks, apply additional 23% burning damage over 8 seconds. So 23% of the direct damage you do when you attack gets applied as burning damage. Sure, it's not a huge amount of damage, but what we want is not the damage, we want the burning. Remember now, all attacks we do apply burning. Okay, now I'm just gonna finish up our defensive skills. We get vulnerability now, get extra mana regen, and after 1, then we get Wearer's Mastery, more damage, and also damage reduction. And some more damage reduction when you teleport. Let's see now. Then we take Inner Flames and Devouring Blaze, increase our critical strike damage against burning enemies. And all enemies, as we said, are now burning. So every time we crit, we crit for 30% more. Okay, Devouring Blaze, and then finish this off, and then we take, we take Fiery Surge. Killing a burning enemy gives us more mana regeneration. Since all mobs are burning, we basically have 30% more mana regeneration all the time. Then we take Electrocution and Endless Pyre. And now our skill points are finished. Now we get over to Renown points. We get 3 points in Warmth, then 1 point in Align Elements, just to get some more damage reduction. 1 in Protection, just to get a barrier whenever we do a cooldown. Yeah, I mean, it can be a lifesaver. And then 2 points in Mana Shield. Basically, it gives you another 10% damage reduction every time you've used 100 mana. And then we finish off with Conduction. Basically increase our movement speed every time we crit. Which with shock skills is quite a lot. And that is the build. Now, let's get over to our aspects and gems and stuff. We're going to start with gems. I prefer to take the topaz in our weapons because we use our basic skill quite a lot, and it does a lot of damage. And there's a synergy here with a basic skill. Attacking enemies with a basic skill increase the damage of your next core skill. So for every attack you do, your Chain Lightning will do 5% more damage, up to 30%. And we also have increased attack speed on our basic skills. And I put it on Amulet so you get a 50% boost. So we attack even faster. So we can stack these up pretty quick and then unleash a stronger Chain Lightning. Now, we also have every time Chain Lightning bounces off you, you gain 4 mana. We have some mana regen as well. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, all the aspects here that I picked are from the Codex. You can find them in dungeons. You don't have to farm and hope to get a legendary with the aspect you want. You can just go out and get them from a dungeon and then apply them how many times you want from the Codex. Okay, let's go through the rest of them. Ice Armor gets Unstoppable. Now we have 2 Unstoppables, which is very beneficial because I believe that later in game, there's going to be a lot of more mobs that will stun you, that will crowd control you in some form, and having 2 Unstoppable is pretty handy. More armor, so more survivability. And as I said, Edgemaster, more damage. Now, if you don't like to have more attack speed, you could just switch so your Edgemaster gets 2 damage instead and you get a little more damage boost. More defensive, a barrier every time you kill an elite. Or no, every time you damage an elite, you get a barrier. And every time you teleport, you get 20% movement speed. Just extra movement speed is always nice to have. That is the build. Now, down in the description below, I will leave a link to a spreadsheet where you will find basically how every point is placed at what level and so forth, what enchantment to take, and so on. It will also explain in what act, what dungeon, and in what slot you can get your aspect. For example, recharging aspect, Fractured Peaks, seen it. First act. And the barrier, also from the first act. Just to show up. You will find all these in the spreadsheet. And if you find this guide helpful, leave a like. It really helps. I can keep doing this. If you believe I missed something or I can have done something better, leave a comment down below. And I will try and read through all of them. So if it's helpful, I'll really appreciate it. And I might actually take a lot of consideration from your feedback. If you want more guides, you can click the box up on the screen. Will take you to a playlist with more build guides. And thank you for watching.